Let's see. We got some friends making friends in here. I love to see it. I did see when I was looking at the live a little bit earlier that there were some of you guys waiting on there. Yeah, Keiki Master, you said you set your alarm for 8. I did have to change the live. I was gonna do it yesterday morning, but today I had to switch it to today because I was trying to get the dogs here. But hello everyone, so happy to see you're all in here. Hi Shyla. Hi Katie. You guys are all awesome. I hope you had a good weekend. Did everybody have a good weekend? How was your weekend? Hi Olivia. Hey, hey, hey. Hi Addie. I see some good weekends. I see a couple didn't have so good of a weekend. Hopefully your week makes up for it and you have a better day tomorrow. If you didn't have a good weekend, but for those of you that did, I'm happy to hear that. So first of all, I have some good news and I have some bad news. So, do you guys want to hear the good news first or the bad news first? It's not terrible news, but good news and bad news. Let's see what you guys say. Oh, Maddie, I'm so happy to hear that. Okay. We're getting mixed reviews on good versus bad. So we're just gonna get the bad news out of the way first. Sadly, the dogs are not here. I was trying to get them here to do a live, but unfortunately my parents did not get back in time, so the dogs still aren't here. I actually still am at my parents', but yeah, sadly the dogs are not here. That's why I switched to live, because I wanted to try to get them here for the puppuccino thing. But the good news is, no dogs today. We'll do another live in the future with the dogs, I promise. But today, the good news is that we still get to hang out, and I switched the title of the live at the last second, because instead we're just gonna have a Q&A on the topic of figuring out what your true interests are, because I know a lot of you guys talk about inspiration, and loving creativity, loving sports, loving dancing, whatever it may be. So I want to talk a little bit about that because I think it can be beneficial to you all, and it's also something that I have always and kind of still struggle with, is figuring out what the heck do I want to do with my life? What are my true interests? So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. If you're here for the dogs, we'll get them on here again sometime in the near future. So yeah, good to see everybody. Raina Wonka, good to see you again. Before I jump in, I do want to say, be sure to check out the description and subscribe to my email list. The link is in the description. It's just halleesmith.com. I'll be sending out my monthly newsletter tomorrow. So if you want to subscribe to my email list, we talk about we do some inspiration. We'll do the chance for a shout out in the email newsletter. We do a favorite video of the month and just kind of like some updates on what I'm doing, whether it's merch or an online course, whatever it may be. So be sure to subscribe to the email list. And then finally, Instagram, give me a follow there for more content. Again, linked in the description. Or you can go username Hallee_Smith. So I see some of you guys throwing some questions in here already, so let's jump right in and talk about some big sis advice. Someone commented, like, you're like the big sis. I was like, I kind of like that idea. That's kind of cool, because I technically am. To my brothers, obviously. But yeah, okay. So Leilani Kirk has a question. This one is not necessarily on the topic of figuring out what you want to do, but I'll answer it real quick because I saw it come up. The idea of getting a drink or ice cream inspired by outfit. So I was doing that name drink videos, and then I was scrolling for inspiration. I saw a couple people do the trend where they went to Dunkin' and Starbucks and did a drink inspired by their outfit. And I was already doing Dunkin' and Starbucks content, so I decided to do that. And it went super viral, and I really liked the videos. I thought the concept was fun, so then I just started doing everything, ice cream, boba, whatever you think. So Yeah, that's a bit off topic though, so I'm gonna jump back into the topic of the day. Wanted to answer that quick. So the topic of the day is, how do you figure out what you want to do? How do you discover your true interest? So if anybody has questions on that, like, what do you want to do or do you not know? Does anybody um have any okay, Coco, here's a good one. What college do you recommend? So that goes really well with this topic because it all kind of boils down to figuring out what you truly want to do. And when it comes to college, that's a really big decision that you have to make that has a lot to do with your interests. So personally, I can't give you a recommendation for your college, but I can try to steer in the right direction. So obviously there's small colleges, there's big colleges, there's medium colleges. The quickest way to narrow it down, do you want to be at a big school, a really small school, kind of an in-between school? That's one of the first things you can do when you're trying to figure out where you want to go. And then figure out what you want to do. What do you want to go to college for? And then you can find colleges that have good programs for what you want to do. So those are two good criteria to start with when you're trying to figure out a college, and figure out where you want to go. And then you can also look at things like, what state do you want to live in? Do you like very naturey campuses? Do you like cities? Think about the things that you are interested in as a person and then apply those to the college, and that'll kind of help you make the decision. So good question to kick off the conversation. Let's see. Ashley Kuhn said, what's my dream job? Literally what I'm doing right now, a content creator. This is seriously my dream job. I've been making videos since I never knew that this was what I wanted to do because I didn't know it was an option. But I've been making videos since I was like 7, and actually I was gonna share one of them with you guys at some point because it's really funny. I was probably like 8, and I made this video. It's so funny. So yeah, good question. So llamas for life, this is a really good question too because it's super on topic and it's exactly what I want to talk about. So llamas for life said, what do you do if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up? Well, like I said, perfect question because that is exactly the boat I was in. I never knew what I wanted to do when I grew up. There are people, I think, that have that epiphany. They see something, they're inspired, and they're like, I want to do that when I grow up. But I think the bigger majority of us has no idea what they want to do. You might be like, okay, I like art, but like there's so many different things in art that you can do. So how do you pick, right? My best advice for that is to try things you're interested in. Trial and error is really the best way to go about it because you're not always going to just be able to magically figure out what you want to do. You're not really going to know until you try, right? So if you don't know what you want to do, come up with a short list of some things that might interest you, do a little research, maybe you try it out. I used to think I wanted to be a graphic designer. I did a whole research project on it. Or no, not graphic designer. I am a graphic designer. Was interior designer. So like decorating houses and stuff. I used to think that's what I wanted to do. I did a whole project on it. But then when I got into the logistics of all the architecture and math you have to do, I was like, yeah, no, not for me. So yeah, you just kind of gotta try it out, trial and error. And don't feel bad about not knowing. It's really okay. I promise you, 90% of people, if not closer to 100% of people, don't ever really know exactly what they want to do. You just kind of have to make your best educated guess, be present in the moment, and do what makes you happy is really the moral of the story. So, good question. Let's see. Some more questions. Okay. The username is okay plant bread emojis. How do I do things that people are telling me not to do? Okay, so I'm assuming what you mean by this question is maybe you want to go after a career path and people are telling you not to do it. Well, first you have to rule out if you want to take those people's advice. Sometimes you should take people's advice, other times not. So it depends who's telling you. Is it some random person? Is it a friend that you don't completely trust? Then maybe you might not want to listen to them. If it's someone you really care about and someone that you know has the best interest for you, then you might want to listen to them. But yeah, to start, figure out if you want to listen to their advice to even begin with. And if you decide that you don't want to listen to their advice and it's something that you truly believe in, that you really want to do, and we're talking in terms of career path, of maybe sports, dance. We're not talking like risky decisions, like, I don't know, climbing Mount Everest. We're not talking that. We're talking more what you want to do with your life. So when people are opposing what you want to do, you just got to block it out. I mean, it sounds like really cliche, but focus on how the activity is going to give you joy, not how that person is telling you not to do it. So yeah, I hope that helps. Okay, plant bread. Let's see. Next question. Just reading through these. I got a little behind on them. Megan Mansfield, how did you navigate your way through high school socially? I'm currently struggling with the social aspect of high school and feel like I don't fit in. That is a good question, Megan, and I think that that's super relatable. I think a lot of people struggle with that, and me included. When for me in high school, it wasn't awful. I had a lot of friends, but I've always I didn't like when people didn't like me, which is something that I got low power mode. It might have cut out for a second, but I think I'm back. So in terms of not fitting in high school, I always felt like people thought I fit in, but I didn't feel like I fit in, if that makes sense. Like, I fit the stereotype of somebody who fit in, but I always felt like I was different than what people stereotyped me as. So when it comes to not fitting in, that's honestly a gift. When you're unique and you stand out, I mean, everybody's unique. Stereotypes are just a part of society. Everybody is their own unique person, and you are not like anybody else. So technically no one fits in, right? If you get away from the stereotypes and the groups and everything like that. Honestly, you just have to own who you are and confidently own who you are. And let the people go who aren't good for you. If you don't fit in with a friend group, let it go. Don't let it bother you. It's nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with you. It's a blessing in disguise, because if you don't fit in with them, you wouldn't have been happy with them in the first place. So then, you're going to move on to the next friend group that might be the one that's going to be the one you fit in with. Or maybe not friend group, maybe just one friend, whatever it may be. Everybody's experience is very different. So yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you're struggling with that. I lost your name. I think it was Megan. But good question, and keep your head up. Keep going. There's a lot of people I think that can relate to you, so you're not alone. Just know that. Okay, next question. Let's see. What if you don't want to grow up? I love that. You never grow up, really. I mean, that's just a phrase, right? What do you want to be when you grow up? It's a phrase. I don't feel grown up. I'm 23, almost 24. Side note, my birthday is October 28th, guys. I'm so excited. Halloween is almost my birthday. It is my favorite time of year. Well, I don't know, summer in that close second. But yeah, if you don't want to ever grow up, honestly, mature. You'll mature, right, in a lot of ways. But growing up, you're always going to have that child inside of you, and you should let that part of you shine. Like, I always want to go on adventures still. Okay, let me find some more comments. Claire Blind, good question. Okay, I think, this is going to be a story about my experience, but I think that it'll help you all to kind kind of hear how I evolved with it. So, Claire Blind said, "What did you want to be as a kid compared to now?" So, it's funny. I was actually talking to one of my best friends today about this, and we were like, "What? Like, as a child, before you're even conscious, before you care about anyone judging you, what were you interested in?" We were talking about this, and for me, the first thing I wanted to do, I came home after art class in kindergarten. I was like, "Mom, Dad, I want to be an artist." And they're like, "Okay, good luck making money." So I've always been interested in art. And I guess, in a way, what I'm doing now is art. It's just a different form of it. I'm creating videos instead of paintings. So I've always known deep down that I wanted to do something creative. And again, I am a content creator. That's very broad. I make videos for you guys, but I still don't know a specific destination of like, okay, when I'm doing this at this very moment, I'm going to be living the dream. I'm trying to be very present in like, okay, I'm going to try this, it's fun, and then we're going to go to this and it's fun, and like, living in the moment. So, yeah, a good question. I think that was really on topic in terms of kind of like where I've been at and also with the topic that we're talking about. So, let's get on to the next question. And thank you all so much I see all of you guys in the comments. I can't read them all, but I'm going to try to get to as many of them as I can in the 25 minutes that I have to do this live. So thank you to everybody who's asking questions. And I'll also, try to look back at this and see if I can pull it for inspiration for another live. So let's hurry up and get to another question so I can get to as many of you as possible. Okay. Let's see. Just reading through some of your guys' comments to see which one I can do next. Okay. So, Abigail McClelland, I would say for you, I don't want to give you advice from a place that I don't have the authority to give you advice. I've never personally had to experience with what you're experiencing with, sexuality. So I can't necessarily, I don't want to give the wrong advice. If I've never experienced it, I don't feel right giving you advice on that. But it is super important to be yourself. So I would say maybe, find some creators who aren't part of, who have gone through that same situation in terms of like the LGBTQ community and like coming out. I would say it would be best for you to maybe ask somebody who's gone through that. I haven't gone through that personally. So, I don't want to give you advice where I don't have the authority to be giving it. But again, I'm sorry to hear you're going through that. It's, I'm sure, tough. I mean, I have friends who have gone through that, and I know that it was never easy, but the most important thing is that you're yourself and, you figure out what makes you happy and do what makes you happy. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Michaela Collins said, I am a freshman now, and there's a lot of drama going on right now. Is there any advice you can give me to get out of it? I think is what, okay. Drama. We gotta love drama. No, we don't love drama. It's everywhere, everybody thrives off of drama. I mean, so it's hard to avoid. Sometimes it just happens. The best way to avoid it, or the best way to get out of it, is to avoid it. Don't feed into it. That's the biggest thing. There's always going to be drama, and it'll be tempting sometimes, especially if it's your friend group. So not engaging in the drama is the best way to avoid it, because you'll attract what you put out. And so if you give any of your energy to the drama, you're probably going to keep getting pulled into drama. So yeah, that is my best advice there. It's pretty general, but I think we all experience that same type of thing. There's drama all over the place, and sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes you have to address it head on in a mature way. Um, and there's no other way out of it. So, if you can confront in a kind way, if you have to get out of the situation, then so be it, because sometimes that's how it is. Um, but if you're not directly involved, I would just say avoid it and don't feed into it. If one of your friends is venting to you about it, maybe just listen to them and just be like, okay, well, look, that's not my place to get involved, but I'm sorry you're going through that, or something like that. I don't know the context of the situation, but yeah. Okay, so next question. I think I can do, let's see, 8:17. I can stay on for 5 more minutes, so I will try to get to 2 more questions before we wrap up. I've been seeing your questions filter through, but it's hard to read them all. So thank you again for bearing with me on this. Let's see. I want to try to do someone who's I have not answered yet. Let's see. How's Luna? That's a quick one. Luna I think she's having some back problems again, but she's not in pain, so that's good. She's getting old. She's 10 now. Sad. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm still just reading through these. I'm gonna need to get a moderator. Keiki Master, what was your question? I don't think I saw it. Okay, I'm gonna do Katie McCarthy's question because I see it. I may have answered one of your questions already, but I think this one's on topic. I need help. I'm going into middle school next year. What did you do in middle school? I don't know if you're talking in terms of like schoolwork. I was definitely really nervous but really excited for middle school, and I thought it was weird because at least where I went to school, when you went into middle school, you didn't have recess anymore, and I thought that was weird. But I definitely made a lot of new friends in middle school, and I feel like middle school is maybe where some drama started, to be relevant. But yeah, as to be expected, it might be a little different nowadays. I don't really know. And your middle school might be kind of different, but it seemed like a big jump in maturity. Like once you got into middle school, you thought you were like older. Like you were like, I'm old. So yeah, that's kind of what I remember about it. Okay. So I'm gonna try to, I know again, I see a lot of your comments. I'm gonna try to keep ones to the topic of figuring out what you want to do. Okay, this one's funny, but okay, Mrs. Girl said, did your parents let you have a boyfriend? If so, how? I think your question might have got cut off, but I'll start answering it. So, I think I'm trying to remember if I was allowed. I was allowed, but I wasn't really allowed to hang out with them until I was probably like in 8th grade is when I started being allowed to like hang out with boys. It was definitely a hard pill to swallow for my parents because it was a change, but yeah, that's kind of a tough topic because I know some people aren't allowed, which again, I gotta respect what your parents are, their parenting style. Everyone has their reasons. But you can use it as a time to figure out the type of person you want. And I know it seems like a huge deal at the time, and it is because you're learning and figuring out who you like, type of people you like. But yeah, I was definitely allowed, but I wasn't allowed to hang out with them until like probably a little bit in 8th grade, more so not college, high school. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to do one more question. And then we shall. Okay. So we have a bullying question. and a nervous question. So the bullying question's from Mercy Raymond, and then the Llamas for Life asked about being more confident. Leilani Kirk, I see your question. I've been seeing that one a lot, but the only reason I didn't get to is, I want to stay on topic. But that's a good one for another live, so thank you again for everybody asking questions. So Llamas for Life and then the bullying, those two kind of go together. So you're nervous about going into high school. How do you be more confident and then getting bullied? So in terms of like building that confidence, right? Confidence comes from within, and I know I've talked about this on lives before, but a lot of times people think that confidence will come from external validation. Like, when I get this many followers, I will finally be confident. Or when I finally get this certain grade, then I'll be confident. But that's the reality of it is it's not true. And I've gone, and I can say that because I've gone through it. Trying to work towards an external factor to make you more confident will never work. And this ties into the bullying thing too, because handling bullies, confidence plays a huge part in that. So one of the biggest things with confidence is knowing who you are, self-awareness, understanding not only what's good about you, but what you might consider to be bad about yourself, and accepting that and loving yourself regardless, and not being afraid to show people what you're not confident about, because it's part of who you are and it's how you're going to show up no matter what. So when you are 100% okay in the moment with who you are and how you're going to show up, that's when you have true confidence. Because, like, for example, for me, I've been struggling with hormonal acne, right? And so for a while I was pretty insecure about it. I wasn't confident because I didn't want to show it on camera or on the internet. And so I was thinking, okay, here's the external validation piece, right? Once I finally cure this acne, then I'll be more confident to have no makeup on. It's not going to happen. I just have to own the fact that I have this skin struggle right now, right? And just, be okay with showing up like this because it's how I am right now. And I think that you guys respect that too. And people that don't, fine. So yeah, big confidence piece. And to point that in the direction of bullying, when people are saying mean things about you, and I actually saw this analogy on TikTok. I forget who the creator was, but imagine someone, the bully, is calling you by the wrong name. Say your name is Bob and they're calling you Joe. You're going to be like, why are you calling me Joe? My name's Bob. You're going to laugh about it because it's just wrong. It's just not true. So if someone's bullying you for something that you know isn't true about yourself, because bullies, they're either going to feed on your insecurities and try to make you not feel good about yourself so that they can feel better about themselves. Just remember, it's never about you. They're projecting themselves onto you. They're projecting their own insecurities onto you to try to make themselves feel better. So when you're getting bullied, it's never about you. It's about them. And that person is the one that's not in a good place. And they're just hurting you because they're hurting. And it's really sad. It's really sad. But it's so true. So I hope that helps. I'm happy to hear that helps. I see some of you saying, Hallee, good to see you. What is up? Thank you so much. Yeah, so yeah, I'm happy to hear that helps you guys. That was the last question I can do for today, but if you missed the live, be sure to catch the replay because we covered some really good topics. The dog sadly couldn't be on it. That was the bad news, but the good news is that we still got to hang out for 30 minutes today. So you're all awesome pals. #house pals. Again, remember that we all support each other. It's not just about me. You guys, I saw in the comments, were exchanging Instagram handles. Find each other on Instagram. Don't just find me on Instagram. Find each other on Instagram. Find each other on YouTube. We're here to support each other. This is fun. That's what's fun about this. I love it. Yes, #house pals. I love it. So I hope you all have an awesome start to the week. I will try to get the dogs on a live soon to make up for this weekend. But be sure to subscribe to the email list. Again, that's in the description. You can find my Instagram linked in the description as well. The email newsletter will be going out tomorrow, so stay tuned. You guys are awesome. Have a good night. Peace out, pals.